Hey guys, welcome back to a very special. Welcome back to the special. We haven't even started it yet.
This is part two.
This
of
is
the
part
special
two
episode.
of this Mother 3 episode. Since we started our playthrough of Mother 3, we've been constantly. I feel like we've been talking to Clyde for like the whole 60-part episode.
Just sort of like as an aside, because you're sort of this like disembodied presence that has like sort of like helped us get through the game in any way at all.
I'm just a tomato.
Yeah, so we've got a very special guest. We've got Clyde and his wife Heidi, aka is it Pomato? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Pomato, or I'm Tomato, and she is known as Po.
Po Trader.
Yeah, or Po.
They are the key people in the translation for this Mother 3.
Mato is not me.
Yeah, well, she played a part in it.
I did one.
Yeah, you did play a part. You cooked.
I did. I kept you alive as you worked on it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get the inside story on what it was like to translate it and what it was like to live with a crazy person.
Okay.
So where are you guys from?
I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona, and we are currently in Tucson, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And you are from?
I'm from Florida, and all the translating was done out in Florida when we were living together out there.
Yeah, for a second I had to think back to where I was at the time. It's so long ago that I'm starting to lose my memory of it.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. That it's sort of just been like to the point now where it's just sort of like that's the way you get Mother if you live in a country where it's not officially out. It's just you kind of like grab that translation and patch it in.
Same with the first game, Mother 1. You have to go through various means to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, for whatever reason, I prefer the GBA version to the NES version just because it's easier.
Yeah. It has some good improvements to it, like the L button, stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can run and stuff like that, yeah. Then I did a retranslation for the first game too, for GBA.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's probably the one that I played then, so thank you.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Thank you for any and all translations that you guys do.
Okay, yeah.
So what was like the impetus for this? Like what made you decide, like, you know what, I'm gonna spearhead
Oh man!
I'm gonna translate an entire game for free.
How far back do you want me to go on this?
as far back as you want to go.
All right. So one day I was born. But so basically back in 1999. Oh my God, that sounds so long ago now. So back in 1999, I started what is now known as Starman.net. I co-founded it with Reed Young, who runs Fangamer now. And anyway, so. At the time, I was into computers, I was into learning Japanese, and I was running Starman.net, and I was translating like all of the Earthbound 64 stuff that I could find that was in Japanese at the time. So even back then, I was sort of like the person who was just sharing all the information I could find from Japan.
Jeez.
And then just over every so often, every few years, there'd be a new tidbit of info would come out, and I would share that. And so just when the game finally came out in 2006, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Hey, Tomato, you gotta translate it. Like even before the first day it came out, I think people got it early somehow.
I think the ROM was dumped 24 hours before it was officially released.
I think some people in China.
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, I don't know how they did. Anyway, so people were like, "Hey, Tomato, you gotta translate it." So, we tried to put together a big old presentation. A bunch of Starman.net staffers. We tried to put a big old presentation together, and then we were going to schedule something with some Nintendo of America execs because we had some connections at the time. Mm-hmm. That didn't work out, but we just waited months and months for it to.
You were basically waiting
for them to say whether they were going to do it or not.
Yeah, just a yes or a no, just anything.
Yeah, so we were waiting. We wanted an official translation.
So what was the vibe from them at the time? Was it like because you said that you had connections and that maybe you were going to have a meeting? Were they aware of the fact that you were going to do this?
I think some of our contacts knew what we were going to do, but they were really pushing for it, and we were hearing things from. just that, like the numbers weren't there, things like that. And so like the like we were hearing that they didn't think that the sale numbers were going to be high enough, so we were going to put together a presentation saying like, hey, Earthbound is a bigger deal since 10 years ago.
Yeah, and like more people like it.
We put all this info together, and we were going to.
That's like when most people hear about Starmen is when they send like a packet.
Yeah, we're sort of notorious for just throwing stuff in Nintendo. Yeah.
That's got to be. I mean, I was like when we started the Let's Play, even when I was playing Earthbound, I was very much, I'm a seasoned Nintendo RPG guy, and I had never heard of the game, and just kind of diving in as the age that I am now, I was able to appreciate every single thing in the game, and I think that your guys' translation specifically was so endearing. And how close was your initial translation versus what was in the game, and were there any kind of things that you had to do to kind of convey anything more clearly versus how it is in Japanese?
Yeah. Okay. So man, that's such a big question. Yeah. Like I'm actually, I run a site called Legends of Localization, and at that site, like many years ago, I compared the localization of Earthbound to the original Japanese, and so I was able to dig deep into that, and I learned like all the nuances and the choices that were made. And so I've been starting to do that with Mother 3, actually. Like I started to put all of the translation choices and localization and crazy things in there.
And you're critiquing yourself now.
Yeah, so it's already like, I don't know, 50 pages long, something like that. So I don't know if I can answer, this question in a little podcast.
Well, talk about how there's a bunch of Japanese puns all over the game, and we had to come up with localization that would make sense to people who don't know anything about Japan.
Oh man, there's so many things. I should probably pull up the site and I can bring up like a million things. Okay, so with the Mother 2 and the Earthbound comparison, I used that for a lot of the basis of my choices for Mother 3. So if they sound similar at any point, it's because of that. So with your Mother 3 Completionist, you talked about how we did, the enemy name puns, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Just like.
Because the original names were just boring.
Yeah, they're really bland.
It was Chicken Snake was what it was.
They weren't trying. It just was
exactly.
What you see on screen is what it is.
Yeah. So we spiced it up.
Yeah, it'd be like chicken snake. What are some others? Like
cow snake.
And we were like,
the cattle snake.
Yeah, we were like, those are boring. There's like pig grass, so stuff like that. Or there was like rhinoceros and then rocket.
Yeah.
It just in English they sort of lend themselves like rhinoceros rocket, just so perfect, So
we spent a lot of time that was the most fun for me. That was the part that I actually helped with.
Yeah, that's the fun.
Coming up with names for the enemies because we'd
be like driving home from the store.
Yeah.
And we would just be talking about enemies, and then just at like stoplights or whatever.
Inspiration will just strike. Cattle snake, perfect.
Or what was another one? Slitherhen.
And that was kind of a joke and pun on Harry Potter.
Yeah, Slitherhen.
We'll do it anyway.
Yeah, I think a lot of people didn't get that, but it's okay.
that is so cool, because I think Alex and I, as we were writing the Mother 3 episode and going through it and rewatching the Let's Play, and one of the things I kept turning to Alex was these puns, they're so good. We are very big supporters of puns in this office, and every time Alex and I would saw a pun, it was first initial reaction was rhinoceros rocket? What? That is a rhino in a rocket as one, and then once it goes off the tongue, it's great. It's so funny. So you guys definitely did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, we can't take all the credit though, because for some of the we got most of the enemy names. We figured out most of the enemy names, but there were maybe a couple 10 or so at the end, and we were like, okay, we can't figure out anything for these. So hey, people who are watching the development blog, hey, people on the StarMer.net forums, throw all your ideas and we'll just check them out. So a bunch of the names are also from Earthbound fans, not just us.
And I can't remember.
Go
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I know that it everybody says Tomato's the guy who did it, but whenever anybody tells you the guy who did it, you kind of say well, there's a bunch of other people who helped too.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
So what was the actual how did that work?
like skipping all like the translation projects often have drama and stuff, but so skipping all of that at the beginning, they're like teams that were doing it at 0-day translations and stuff like that. Yeah,
a couple different teams were working on it all at once.
And then anyway, so when we started, it was me, and then it was primarily a fellow fan and staff member at StarMed.net named Jeff Man, and he is he's a programmer. I'm also a programmer and a translator, so we combined our powers, and it was mostly just a 2-man team of us, and we did it for about 18 months. Just for me, it was a second job, and he was in high school at the time, so he was, I think he had like college tests and stuff. Even. Yeah. So he was
Jeez.
So we were just, I don't know how we did it. And looking back, I don't know.
We could never do it again.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah. Although if Earthbound 64 ever came out, I think I would do it.
Yeah. We would muster up that power if somebody ever found Earthbound 64.
Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
Do you know? So for Earthbound 64, because I didn't even know about it. I knew that I seen concept art, but did they actually finish the game, or was this just a thing that a demo, or what? So, I don't know the gist of it.
Okay, so Earthbound 64 has such a strange long history itself. It was originally supposed to be. Actually, I think originally it was supposed to be for Super Famicom, like Earthbound, like the Mother 3. Like they were planning it for the Super Famicom, but then the Nintendo 64 was announced. They were like, okay, let's push it to the Nintendo 64, and the Nintendo 64 disk drive.
Yeah, the DD.
And then they worked on that for a few years, just taking their time, as eToy tends to do.
Yes.
And then the 64 DD was like a failure and a bomb, so they moved it to the normal disc or normal cartridge. Yeah. So there was one time they did demo it at the Space World in 1999.
Yeah, 99.
So people could actually play like a demo version of it in 1999 in Japan for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
And
surreal.
So as far as we know, the demo exists.
Yeah, the demo definitely exists out there, and it's apparently on some kind of flashcards at the time. Or something.
The game probably was nowhere near completion.
Yeah, and then they kept working on it for like a year or so after that, and then they canceled it. And Miyamoto and Itoi and Iwata, they all gave like different percentages of how done it was. I think Itoi gave it pretty close, like 80%, and Miyamoto was like, no, it's more like 40% or something. Yeah, and then Iwata, he was going back and forth from being between America and Japan for various reasons, for business reasons. I guess because he was going to take over the company soon, possibly. So because he was going to be taking over, like he couldn't work. He was like the main developer behind Earthbound, and I think probably Earthbound 64. So since he couldn't, focus on it, so they decided to quit. So somewhere out there, Earthbound 64 exists somewhere in a closet.
Somewhere.
That's such a bummer, because to hear that, it's like these games are they're on a different level.
Yeah, they got a lot of heart to them. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's like when you said a keyword heart, that's the immediate word I think of when I think of anything of the Mother series.
So was that like the biggest bummer day of all time for you guys?
Oh man, that day lives in infamy. Yeah.
You can still find the posts on the original Earthbound.net. They're like, I heard this rumor. I don't know if it's true. Mother 64 was canceled.
Yeah, and then
oh my god,
that day the Mother 3, like the staffer of the site, he was away that day, and he comes back and he's like, what happened yesterday?
Was it Ice Fusion?
It was Skullrick.
Oh, okay.
Amazing.
Oh man, yeah. So then after it was canceled, I actually did put up an article like a few weeks later, and I was like, it's gonna come out in GBA, just you watch. And then like 5 years later, it comes out in GBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all those 5 years, I would look at Itoi's site every day, and like whenever there was like a hint of a rumor or something, I would post it, and then eventually it started to blossom. I
do want to say though, even though we didn't get Earthbound 64, we did get Mother 3. It's kind of obvious from the screenshots that were released. We did get that version of the game on the Game Boy Advance with much better graphics.
Just ended up being the thing that he was making.
A lot of stuff did cut out, a lot of chapters, and I think
it used to be twice as long.
Yeah,
right?
it was like a lot longer, and a lot of
mine carts and whatnot.
Yeah,
I want to know what that's
two-headed krakens and things like that. Yeah, all that stuff.
So, are you an Itoi fan outside of Earthbound?
Yeah, I do tend to check out his site, and Poe here, she is.
I'm giving a maniacal smile right now.
It kind of reminds me of the enemy in Mother 3.
Well,
in the forest.
I have a Hobonichi Techo, and that is his very famous planner that is getting so much more attention over in the U.S.
The Earthbound planner?
Well, yeah, it has a cover, and that's the Onnit planner, the one that everyone wanted. But like,
I've been salivating over that for like the past,
The planner itself is just like super really amazing, and I write in it every single day. I draw stuff. It's just like, I don't know what my life was before this planner.
Yeah. so a good friend of ours, her name is Chewy, or her real name is Lindsay Nelson, and
actually she's Lindsay Moore now.
Oh, she's Lindsay Moore. Oh crap.
She got married.
She's gonna yell at me for that. So she was a fellow fan, and she worked at the site, astarma.net, for a while, and she's sort of like my protege in translation, even though she's past me now. So anyway, so she was a fan, and she went out. She went to Japan and learned Japanese and everything. And while she was there, she decided to just like email eToys company and see if they have any, like, if they're interested in any translation or something like that. And they hired her, so she actually works for eToy now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she's in charge of these Hobonichi Techo planner
she's
things.
the one who translates all the quotes, and the reason it's in English is because of her.
So
damn.
So everybody here, I should point out that Fangamer, like Starmer.net, sort of like spun off into Fangamer, and that's a big old business. And Poe here works there.
Yep.
A lot of Starmer.net people work there, so there's Techos everywhere.
We're a Techo company.
There's eToy stuff everywhere in the office.
So that's probably why. That's probably why the Fangamer Mother 3 guide exists, because you guys were obviously involved with the translation, and that just it's ironic because I don't know if you guys watched the show, this playthrough, but Fangamer sent us the Mother 3 guide that we were using throughout the playthrough.
Actually, it was me who sent that.
Yeah.
You sent that?
Yeah.
You're my contact?
Yes.
Oh my god. I feel like an idiot. Oh my god.
Don't worry about it. I want to also point out my brother says hi, and thank you for the letter you sent him.
You are the same. I'm so embarrassed. I need to go. Oh my god. This is the woman who sent us everything from Fangamer, Alex. Great. We are literally drinking out of the Warp Pipe mug right now, and
I'm putting it on this exclamation point coaster.
I'm so embarrassed, Heidi.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Now the dots just
they connect.
came together in my brain. Now I'm even more excited for this interview.
Yeah. So when we watched your Mother 3 Completionist the other day, and you mentioned the Mother 3 Fangamer guide.
Yep.
And she was like, I sent that. She like jumped up out of her seat.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta get one of those planners now. If I've gained anything from this interview, I just gotta get one of those.
Yeah, did they still sell the Earthbound ones?
They might still be in stock. I can check while we talk.
I will literally kill a person for one of those.
All right, that's a good marketing tagline there.
That could be the new slogan.
The quote. That's the quote of on like the site. I can kill a guy for one of those.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you guys, what is your favorite thing in Mother 3? Like the thing from Mother 3 that every time you're like, that's the best.
All right, so for me, so sort of a cop-out answer, but what I like to do is because I spent so much time, in the programming and in the translation and all of that, for a couple of years I couldn't play it just because I saw the code and I saw my translation code and you
were Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah, basically, I could see the ones and I could see the ones and zeros. I'm like, it is barely holding together with the string and duct tape I used to make it work. I just felt scared that I was going to break her. So anyway, what I like most is just seeing other people play it and just laugh at it, or just not just laugh, but feel other emotions, like that part in chapter 1 that people don't see coming. Seeing people's reactions to that is great, and then the final battle is always great. I watched you guys, the Beard Bros. I sometimes watch you guys when I'm doing my exercise bike. And I saw you guys. You guys were struggling there, and I was amazed that you were playing it exactly how eToy wanted you to play it.
Yeah,
it was great. It was great. Yeah, you're like, do I fight? I don't know. Let's fight. I don't know.
I know. Oh my god,
it was great. I was like this.
That gives me so much vindication because of how much awful venom there was in the comments for that episode.
Oh, that's too bad.
You played it completely the way it should have been played.
See trolls, see you trolls.
I gotta say, when I was doing the programming for that scene was its own programming, so I had to go in and do my own surgery for that. It was really rough, and I had to do programming for that. So that was a couple days I spent on that scene, just doing that scene over and over, and it was just every time it just ripped out my heart.
Yeah.
Even now it's still rough. and doing
Yeah,
it.
it's maybe the most moving thing I've ever.
And then phrasing everything just right.
I remember you asking me like a couple of sentences, like, "Does this sound right? Does this sound like the way it should?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm already thinking about crying. So yes.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're translating and programming like that, you start to lose sight of what it is to be on the outside. So that's why I often use, guinea pigs like you.
Yeah. Like my personal, like Mother 3 is really, really hard for me to play because it is so sad, like at the end and like all throughout. But like, my favorite part, I think, was just the experience of the game first came out in April 2006.
Yeah.
And Mado and I played it together. Like you would play a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah,
and then
I would live translate it for you.
Then I would have a second file and you would translate everything for me live.
Yeah.
So I knew what I was doing. And
That's fresh.
Yeah, even during that, I was still crying in the middle of chapter 1.
I was trying hard not to.
I was bawling during the final battle. And like you were just doing everything on the fly.
Yeah.
Nothing was quite like as polished as it could have been, and it was just like still an incredibly emotional experience.
That was months before I even started on
so that was before we even thought about doing a fan translation. So when you decided to do it, I was like, yes, now everyone gets to feel like I felt, because like everyone else had been like using like bare bones, like go here,
right.
talk to this guy, and they weren't getting the whole story.
That's right. I forgot. Like the day it came out, I got it express shipped to me from Japan.
Yep.
And I zoomed through that game so quickly so I could make a bare bones walkthrough for everybody else. And then I didn't get to really appreciate it. So then I appreciated it when I got to do it for you.
Yeah, it was. I don't like talking about this game. It's so sad.
It's so rough, right?
It is so.
I like think about it like still. Like
since we did it a few weeks ago, we have Alex and I every day. We'll just be in the office and he just goes, "Man, Mother." And I look it up at him and I'm like, "Yeah, like it's still affecting us." Weeks after playing it, it's still on our mind. We really don't want, this has been a long series for us. I think maybe the longest
I think it was.
series in Beard Bros history, and we don't want it to end. This is like the final video we're ever going to do on Mother 3, and it's like so surreal because
Yeah.
it was
like a year.
It's been a year, and it's been a great journey, and I don't want it to end, but good things must come to an end. So.
A thing that Itoy, like the day that he released the game, he put something on his site, and I forget how I translated it, but it was something like, "I hope you'll come back to play Mother 3, like every so often. Like the more you grow, the more the game grows," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think you guys touched on something like that. Like when I first played the game. I was just like in my 20s or whatever, and I didn't have too much hardship in my life or anything like that. And the way that I saw that the game then is different than I see it now, because I've lost people in my family since then, and that changes everything.
Yeah.
And you guys even touched on that. You guys have lost people. You guys have had brotherly fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really changes. It really the more life experience you get, that game, there's all sorts of stuff.
Exactly. Like the more experience you get in real life changes the way you see the games.
Yeah, and I spoke to somebody for the Earthbound documentary who lost his mom before playing this game.
Oh man.
And he said that this Mother 3 helped him get over his mother's death.
Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely, it wasn't a direct tie for me, but my mom passed away about a year and a half ago, and we started the Mother 3 Let's Play, I think about
a couple months
like
after.
6 to 7 months after my mom passed.
Wow.
So already, like as we were, the audience couldn't tell, but like there are moments where like I had to get up and walk out of the room when we were recording because it was just so close to home. And that last boss fight just like it was the nail in the coffin of like this game is.
And the sunflower scene was
the sunflower scene. Oh my, that's why our thumbnails is the sunflower, me and Alex as Lucas and Boney, because it's like that scene is so iconic and it's been ingrained in our brains since the beginning of the playthrough.
So when you first because you had the icon since the very beginning, so have you guys have played it before then?
Alex had played a pretty large amount.
I tried to play it in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese at all.
Okay, yeah.
And so I had some sort of like weird translation notes because at the time I was just a dumb boy who didn't know how to I couldn't just the fact that I needed to patch it was like me being like
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so I tried to play it and I just sort of gave up on it because it kind of emotionally moved me, and I was like, I don't know how much I want to play of this and not be able to fully comprehend it. But I go way back with Earthbound. Like I remember, having my big strategy guide on the playground and like,
oh man, that's great.
and doing all that stuff and like trying to figure out like where to go and what to do and like trying to like even interpret the guide because it's kind of like
it is kind of
if you're a kid, like a lot of the like tips are like in the form of like advertisements and stuff like that. So I remember trying to like figure that out. Yeah.
So what was your favorite Earthbound card smell?
Oh man, I don't know. All of mine smelled kind of like sort of like sauerkraut by the end. Just because it was like me and my friend Evan who like played it on the playground and so we'd always just kind of like swap them around. I can't even remember one of the cards altogether. I remember the like nasty smell that they eventually ended up smelling like altogether, but I don't remember the individual ones very well. But it was such a what a great thing.
I think for me whenever we do new series on Beard Bros, we try our motto has been let's play something that Jirard is super expert in and Alex is like not that well versed in regards to lore or story, and then we'll do a game where I know nothing about it and Alex is pretty in the know about it. And this was Mother 3 was the first one where I really was like I have no idea what it is, and doing initial research, I don't know who it was, but I found a Let's Play of the flower scene, and I watched it, and I immediately turned to Alex and I said, I don't know the context of this scene. I don't know when it takes place, but this is the reason why we're playing it. Like I immediately saw that flower scene and I was like, we need to do this right away.
And I was fairly blind to the game as well, but like at least I had like the mindset to like be open to like what the game is maybe going to offer,
Yeah.
And so that was good. But that said, can I ask you like what was the most frustrating part of what you watched of us play?
Oh, okay.
If any.
So I haven't seen your full thing yet. Like I would jump around. But I did catch like everything from like the Porky Tower up. I did watch all of that. Because that's like one of my favorite parts of the game.
Yeah, I love that tower.
I did see the part where you were freaking out about the frog car back in the day, and that was pretty amazing.
My favorite thing about the whole series was just like I would forget about the save frogs, and then we'd go somewhere, and there'd be a new frog that just looked ridiculous, and I every time it got me. I think my favorite one is the frog in the car, but my runner-up is the frog that's in the snake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's like,
and then eventually it's like I got out. Like I imagine this frog with like like a Rambo knife just cutting his way out of a snake, and he's like, I'm alive. Yeah. Do you want to save the game? Like it just was so good.
Yeah. So let's see. I think I do recall being impressed at how many times you had to keep redoing those Porky games. Like you kept winning.
I guess I have an ego when it comes to winning. I like to win a lot.
Thing is he wins at everything.
But winning and losing in that taught me the lesson of like this portion of the game is you have to underperform because in the world of Porky, he wins. Yeah. Even if it's like by a landslide or by like a sliver of hair, he always wins. And that lesson was taught to me pretty quickly as I failed the first few times winning.
I remember you kept doing that mole one forever.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, I deserve this loss because the game is trying to teach me something different.
So you guys were playing like on a Retron 5, right?
Yeah.
So I did notice at the end, like stuff, the really long credits music and stuff like that, that was all getting out of sync. And I was like, no, it's not syncing up. So I guess that must be a Retron 5 thing.
It must be. And that scene with
the flashback scene was like
we were so freaking out.
That's
we can't read it. We can't read it. I was like, Alex, pull up a translation. I can't.
Yeah. So what happened?
See what tomato wrote on it. I don't know what to say what's on screen.
Yeah. So what happened was like during that final scene when the mom is talking to them. Like the text is really bright and it's like a really bright background. So I guess their TV might have been too bright or something. So they couldn't even see the text. And they were like, is she saying something? What's being said? What's going on?
That's texting game.
Yeah. Like I spent so much time on that text too.
Yeah. the whole thing with the cribs, like I'm like playing through the game again now so that I can like experience that scene properly. just because I want to do it for my own satisfaction.
But
yeah.
like there's still so much in the game that is being undiscovered. Like the game was in development for like 5 years. Like that seems to be the Itoy game thing. But so we're always discovering new sprites and new events and all these new things. Like I think there's supposed to be an alternate ending, like a bad ending possibly. All this stuff. So
all the hidden stuff.
Yeah, all this stuff in the ROM. We're still digging it up.
Yeah.
We spent so much, like a year and a half in the ROM, and we're still finding stuff. So maybe one of these days you guys can like do a video on that. You guys were saying how you want to leave Mother 3 behind, but maybe you can do that sometime.
All I want to do is, if there's anything else that ever happens about Earthbound, I will be the first person to make a video about it on the internet. Mark my words.
I think. I joke around this with games that I love. Like this was an absolute pleasure to play this game, and I think that if I could review one game over and over and over again and keep playing it, it would be Shovel Knight and it would be Mother 3, and like those two different games. But I loved that Mother 3. It was a GBA game. It was Super Nintendo-esque, but it felt incredibly cinematic, and that's why I was in from the beginning. It's so good.
And then have you guys played? You guys haven't streamed Mother 1 or rode it up with Mother 1 yet?
I haven't, but Alex actually, before we even started Beard Bros, he was doing it for himself.
Yeah, I was streaming it. I got all the way to Magic Cant, and then I lost my I lost my save file.
Oh no!
So a couple months ago, like in November, I powered through in like 2 days.
Okay.
I powered through the GBA version,
cool,
which I guess you did as well.
It's possible,
so thank you.
If you did the translation, that's probably mine.
Yeah, with the little easy.
Yeah, the easy ring.
Easy ring.
Yeah,
that's how I got through it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to mess with that many random battles. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So let's kind of wrap things up. But I do have one or two more questions. Sure. One being, in the comments tweeted at us from start to finish, people have been raving that there is a Mother 4 fan game.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear your insight as to what you guys think about it, if you know anyone who's developing it, or if they asked you to participate, or anything like that.
So it's been like in the works for a pretty long time. It started as just like a fan game on the Starman.net forums.
I used to it started on Starman.net, and I was keeping an eye on it in the beginning, but it's grown into this gigantic, huge
and like the
project.
people, like the guy who started it, he doesn't even work on it anymore. So it's like it's kind of changed hands a few times, and the people themselves have grown and they've improved their programming skills and their game design skills. So what it looks like now looks so different from back then, and it's really amazing. So like the progress, the game itself. Game development itself almost seemed like Mother 4. Actually, I was saying that Mother 3's translation felt like Mother 4 to me.
Yeah.
But Mother 4, the fan game, it looks really good, and I look forward to playing it. I think it comes out this year.
I've been trying actually not to keep up with the development because I want to be totally surprised when we do finally play it.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I basically signed up for an email list, and I've just been waiting to get the email at this point.
Yeah, the music and the art are really impressive.
Yeah,
that trailer looks great.
Yeah. We'll probably stream it.
Probably.
I've been watching your guys' streams lately.
Oh, yeah?
They're really intriguing. I love seeing you guys do what you do. It's so cool.
That's cool. I'm glad.
What do you think about the future of Mother?
The future of Mother. I do think that someday an official translation is going to come out.
Yeah?
Probably within not anytime soon, but within maybe the next 10 years. Maybe how every so often they do a reboot or a revamp. They did that with Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that.
I felt like it was special that I was around when Earthbound came out again finally.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a pretty monumental day.
That was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was such a surprise. I woke up, it was the day after my birthday, I think. And it's and you're like, hey, Earthbound's on Virtual Console. And I'm like, what? Finally? Now?
Yeah.
It took forever.
So nutty. What do you think about that E3 bit?
Oh yeah, that's a common question I got. Oh man, the day of that video, everybody was tweeting me and asking me on this.
I just want to say, I was already at work when the E3 Direct was going on, so I was at Fangamer, the only one in the office because I get there early, and I was just typing and listening to it in the background, and then they mentioned Mother 3, and then I kept typing, and then I was like, wait a second. did I just hear official Nintendo say Mother 3? What was that?
It was really weird to hear them ever say Mother 3 ever, yeah.
So that was a surprise for me, but how do you feel?
So what did I think of it? Like, a lot of people were asking me, like, oh, does that mean Mother 3 is going to come out at some point or anything like that? And I was like, no, it's just, who was it, MTV, a Robot Chicken or
Robot
somebody?
Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken.
I think it was just them, like, they probably asked Reggie, okay, so what is a good joke we can put in here? What's an annoying question you get all the time, Reggie? And he probably smiled and said, when is Mother 3 coming out? And so they just put that
Whatever
in there.
the heck, Mother 3.
Yeah, so it could have been like any question, any game there, and just Mother 3. And he would still light them on fire.
Yeah, so that was just our guess of why that was in there.
Yeah, it was just for laughs, I think. I don't think it means anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
During our playthrough, we kept reminiscing about how great the game was, and one thing that I kept asking Alex was, why is it not here? And I'd love to hear why you guys think it's not here. I think Alex and I, our conclusion was that the Magypsies might be a hard thing to explain to a newer audience playing it.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of like abuse, and there's a little bit of like weird, like the oxygen machines are kind of weird.
There's so many just weird little things like that all over the game. It's like peppered with that weirdness, but that's what makes it so tasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
It's juicy.
But so I think it was we talked about it earlier, but I think Nintendo didn't think that the sales numbers were going to be there. The name Mike Fukuda keeps coming to my mind. I think maybe he might have been the one who made the call not to do it or not. But then there's just like the content itself. Also the fact that the GBA was being replaced with the DS at the time.
Yeah, it was like almost super dead by then.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, why bother? We're trying to push out the DS. Why would we worry about this?
This Game Boy game. Yeah.
We need to focus our money on this other stuff.
I think it was all just business decisions. No other real reason.
I'm sure that
Same thing that happened with Earthbound.
Exactly.
The original one. Mother 1.
Yeah. And the same with Earthbound 64, it just came out at the end of the life cycle or whatever. It was just like, I think GameCube was coming out, so they decided to cancel Earthbound 64.
Because they probably weren't close to completing it.
I think they were like a couple years.
Yeah.
Each one needs to work faster.
He's getting old. He's getting older with every year, though.
Yeah,
so he's actually aware
know.
of the translation. He hasn't said much about it. I mean, like our friends and contacts over there.
They've asked him.
Yeah, he's aware of it. And he's aware of the Mother 4 game too. But
I wonder what he thinks.
Yeah.
I just wonder like where his head is at about it.
Yeah, he's well aware of the the fan base outside of Japan apparently.
Yeah, like I don't know if he knows just how big it is and how important this game is, but he knows Starman.net. He called us the Starman Club.
Yeah.
So that's my unofficial name that I call myself now, the Starman Club.
Hopefully at least like more and more people like Jirard made a big video about it, and like hopefully the consciousness just gets there.
The video did incredibly well for what it was, and I got so many tweets about how like the video was emotional for them, and it made us emotional because of how emotional we were when we were playing it. So it just was like, it felt like as a collective, our community in both Beard Bros and Completionist just kind of really broed out and enjoyed the sadness that kind of came from it, and also the relief of it all. So
like there's not
there's
not just sadness though. There's a lot of laughs in there, like the monkey dance.
Oh, there's so
the butt dancing. There's
we focused on like the sadness,
but it's like everything is in there.
But that's like the only game that has ever made me feel like that. So that's what I remember most about it.
I loved how much we hated Facade.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Every time Facade was on screen, we just were like, get out of here!
But it was great because you relied on him too, because when you're Salsa, you're so weak, you needed Facade to help you out. So it was like this weird relationship that you don't see often in games.
Yeah, that's great. Man.
By the way, the Onet Hobonichi Techo cover is currently in stock. I just checked.
Nice.
If you go to hobonichiplanner.com, you might be able to buy it if soon, because I'm sure everybody who watches your video will soon sell it out.
Hashtag Hobonichi.
Now Alex and I both are like, add 2 to the box.
I'm literally buying this. I'm going to buy it right now.
All right. Do you get a commission for that?
No. It's just like, that you should know that that's the cover only, so you should also buy the planner book to go with it. It's only February, so...
you can put sandwiches in there and
or
stuff.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Any A6 book, but if you do buy the planner, that'll help Hobonichi know that there's interest out here, and we want more stuff like that translated.
Yeah.
So actually, that reminds me, Mother 3. Like for me, Mother 3 has been like sort of like I did mention that the translation was sort of like a mother for, like, I had to fight all these bosses, like difficult programming, issues and translation issues. So it felt like I was leveling up slowly and fighting these bosses. And I think, like, even at the end, we got like a weird email, I think possibly from Nintendo saying not to release it.
An anonymous email, kind of like a warning.
Anyway, so like Mother 3 is sort of like the culmination of all of my Earthbound and programming skills and all that. So in many ways, like Earthbound and Mother 3 have really been I don't even know how to explain how big of a part of my life it's been. Like everything I do, like my programming, my Japanese skills, all of this stuff I can trace back to, Earthbound series and Mother 3. Even, I'm married to Poe here because of it.
Yep. Because I played Earthbound and I found Starman.net.
So it's been like, it's been really cool seeing like everybody like enjoy, Mother 1 translation, Mother 3 translation, and all the other junk that I do with Earthbound. And during the Mother 3 translation blog, like you can go back there, and if you wanted, you can go see the whole progress of everything. But in the comments, people were always offering me like beers. People were always saying like, if you're ever in town, come see me, and I'll give you a beer. We also got plenty of offers for babies. Yeah. But I don't really want babies.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you guys going to PAX East?
I don't think you are.
I'm not, no. I have to stay behind and keep the office ready.
The last I heard, the whole east side is just...
like 90 inches of snow in Boston, so I'm kind of glad I'm not going this year.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. So it's gonna be nutty.
So my reverse question for you is, are you guys going to the Earthbound convention this summer?
Where in the hell
is
You guys don't know?
God.
What?
Go to campfangamer.com.
Yeah.
There's an Earthbound convention.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's an Earthbound convention here in Tucson, Arizona. It's this July, I think.
It's July. It's going to be 100 degrees, but it's going to all take place in a very, very nice air-conditioned hotel.
It's at the same time as the Screw Attack Gaming Convention, which we're booked
I think
for.
it is, yeah.
And
July 18th
tickets
to
are on
19th.
sale right now.
Yeah, so tickets are open to the public now. It's July 18th and 19th. Mado and I are going to be there. All of Fangamers.
Yeah, I think the localizer for Earthbound is going to be there.
Marcus Lindblom is going to be there, yes.
Yeah, he's always fun to talk
Oh my
to.
god.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
is this a new thing, or is it happening every year?
Well, this is the first year we're doing it. It was like a stretch goal for the Fangamers Kickstarter last year.
That's right.
Yeah,
So it could be a yearly thing if it turns out well.
if it's successful, we might do another Earthbound one, or we might do a convention for a different game. We don't know.
What's a good game that we can do?
Dark Souls.
Star Tropics.
Star Tropics convention.
I know we need one, man. So so
great.
going back to what I was talking about, so people were offering me babies and people were offering me beers, and I was thinking about it just a few weeks ago, and it's not too often that people get an opportunity to have people all over the world were offering me beers and everything, even people like in Nintendo of America, and people like in Square Enix and all these other companies. I think people at Blizzard were sending me all these beer offers, and they're like, hey, if you're ever here, in Germany, here in England, here in Hawaii, and all these places, come by and we'll have a beer. And I was thinking, maybe I should actually take up this opportunity to go like on the Mother 3 beer tour.
Yep.
Just go all over the world. I think that'd be great. We should make a documentary of that.
You have to do the Fuzzy Pickles pose every time you take a photo. That's the only way to do it.
Okay.
And you can be the
I'll be the photographer.
Okay.
Well, the offer stands in Los Angeles as well.
Okay, great.
If you're ever here, if you're ever in LA, or really if we see you guys at any convention.
Okay.
Heidi, were you at PAX Prime?
I was, but I was working on Earthbound documentary stuff most of the time, so I wasn't really.
Yeah, I forgot. There's the Earthbound documentary that we're also working on.
Were you there like 2 years ago?
No,
Yeah, you were. You were working the booth.
I was. Oh, in 2013.
Yeah,
I was.
So you were at the Fangamer party, right? The
Yes. The track
the art
mode,
show?
Fangamer track mode art show. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I totally could have met you. I was there freaking out over Jake Kaufman playing a live set the whole time.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I think I left before that because I was tired. I'm an old woman.
Yeah, when you work at PAX is different than attending.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And freaking that's when Keiji Inafune showed up at the very end. That's right. I got to meet him. That was really cool.
Mighty Number 9 even. Wow.
We are.
Yeah.
We're gonna start fulfilling that any time now.
Anytime now.
We gotta get that merchandise going.
I look forward to that.
Great.
Guys, this has been an absolute
Yeah, it's been a
pleasure.
lot of fun.
I'm still a little embarrassed that I didn't connect the dots sooner
Oh,
about
no.
you, Heidi.
Don't worry
but
about
I'm,
it.
I'm glad. Again, the offer still stands for a beer or really just kind of any
Or baby.
or baby.
Yeah.
You know,
All right,
if I
expect a
find
baby
a
from
kid,
each
I
of
will
you.
be sure enough to
Your
give it to you.
Before we go, is there anything else you guys want to plug?
With that sheet.
What do we got?
Earthbound Convention, Earthbound
So
documentary.
the Earthbound Convention. It's coming out, or it's happening this July. The tickets are still available. I think campfangamer.com.
Campfangamer.com, yes.
After the Mother 3 translation, I started a site called Earthbound Central, and I do all kinds of stuff. I think I even posted about completionist stuff there once in a while, like
Oh,
Earthbound.
thank you.
Legendsoflocalization.com. If you liked Earthbound and you want to know like all these little secrets or little things that got left out of the translation, there's like 500 pages of it.
Can I tell you
Yeah.
that I went and I owe you yet another thank you because I went there and I used some of the work that you did on the Super Mario Brothers instruction manual.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Glad somebody
for
used
a-
that.
yeah.
Yeah, for a game theory that I
Cool.
wrote recently.
Was that the one with the 256 levels?
It's the bit. It's just like a bunch of stuff from the where you translated the instruction manual.
I see. Yeah. Is it one where like you're killing the people by killing the blocks? Stuff like that?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
okay.
Not yet. It comes out in
Okay,
a few weeks, but I'll give you. I'll shout you out. I'll let you know.
You can beep that out, and then people will be like, "Oh my god, this is porn." So Legends of Localization, I update that regularly, and I'm actually doing some books. Earthbound book was a Kickstarter goal recently, so there's going to be an Earthbound Legends of Localization book in the near future.
Yeah, we repped the hell out of that on Twitter.
great.
We were pushing that.
Thank you. And then
because Heidi, you emailed me and you were like, "Hey, Jirard, would you mind?" And I was like, "Would I mind? Of course
Yeah.
not. Let's do
Yeah,
it."
so
Immediately, Alex and I were ranting and raving about it.
I'm working on to make sure that the Earthbound one is real good and doesn't have issues. I'm working on a Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 book first, so I'm working on that. And then if the Earthbound one does well, I'm going to do the Mother 3 translation notes as a book too.
That's
wow,
gonna
that's
that'd
awesome.
be
So,
so
you know,
cool.
maybe you can get you get the Fangamer guide and the translation notes as a combo.
Translation notes might
think
be
that-
800 pages long.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit longer than the game.
And then Mado and I do this not almost daily, like
we banter and play games.
weekly. We on Twitch we have a thing called Pomato CX. It's twitch.tv/Clyde Mandelin, but
Or if you just go to pomatocx.com.
Oh, yeah.
That explains it better, yeah.
yeah, and like he and I play games and they're Let's Plays. We basically just goof around.
Yeah, I do live translations of Japanese games that a lot of people would like, probably, like Yokai Watch.
Yokai Watch, yeah.
I was really watching when you were doing the Final Fantasy VI stuff recently a few weeks
the Final
ago.
Fantasy 6 T edition was like the most amazing Japanese ROM hack I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, just amazing. And like we spent 150 hours playing it and live translating it. It was amazing.
Wow.
So all those archives. Are
So
there if
I
you
know
wanna
you
check that
guys are huge fans of that game, and
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VI is my number one RPG, with a very now close
okay,
second.
yeah, I was
to
about
Mother
to
3.
get on your case there.
Yeah, Mother 3 now takes a very close, very close second place.
So maybe someday I can try to do a translation patch of that. But if not, just check out. I have it all on YouTube,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
That would take you 5 years to do a translation patch.
Yeah.
we'll have whoever's editing this video link everything
Sure,
they can
that's great.
in the description for you guys.
Yeah. Also,
One last thing
yeah.
before we let you guys go. Everyone in the comments all weekend long has been roasting me hardcore for missing I'm the completionist and I missed the completion ending stuff of Mother 3. And I think it's because when we got to the end of the game, we were so
drained.
I personally was so like, wow, the game was so good. It's over, and I'm so happy it's over because it's like a good thing. And then we released the video, everyone loved it, but the comments were like, you didn't actually complete it, completionists. And I was like, wait, what? And I started reading the comments, and I was like, oh no. So I missed a few things, and people in the comments in every section just fight in general. But I figured since you commented on the video and we spoke about it on Twitter, what is the completion, like what is completionist stuff considered for Mother 3, and how many more hours of backtracking and replay am I going to have to do to make that
I have some
happen?
bad news for you, but first,
no.
so one thing I don't know if you guys did you get all the trivia cards? There's like how many trivia cards? 4 or so, maybe 6.
I think I got 3.
Yeah, there's a bunch of trivia cards, and you can use them in battle on like human style enemies. Like usually they're like pig masks you can use them on, and depending on which one you show them, they'll give you a different answer. And sometimes it's the correct answer. Nothing special happens when you get that, but I know I know you're a completionist, so if you want to get all the trivia cards, and then like for the translation, I have the thing where Earthbound that came out, and there wasn't too much to do once you finish the game. You can grind for the Sword of Kings, and I know you guys did not enjoy that.
It's weird though, because for games like this with the random 3% generator thing, because I knew it exists, it like kept me going. You know what I mean? And ironically enough, both off and on camera when I was grinding in both Mother 3 and Earthbound, it didn't take me very long. I think I did a weekly Earthbound stream for a full 9 months on my own Twitch channel, and everyone freaked out because after the second battle I got the Sword of Kings.
Oh my god, that's such luck.
That's like one of those.
Everyone was like, "What? How did you do that?" And I was like, "What are you guys talking? I killed him and I got it. Like that's all it was."
That rivals the guy who got 2 of them.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those urban legends, like the kid who can get it on a second try.
Yeah.
So there's when Earthbound came out, and I wanted to play it over and over, so you would have to come up with your own challenges, like the T-Rex challenge. I don't know if you did that or not.
The T-Rex
bat challenge.
No, what's
so
that?
So that's where, and when you get to Winters with Jeff, you just get the T-Rex bat at the store right outside of his school. And you just do that by grinding against the goats and the dogs and stuff like that. That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
But you sell the cookies that you get, and you get enough money. It's like 400.
Yeah, because normally you can't get money because he doesn't have an ATM card, but you can sell the items you get. And then if you do that enough, you can buy the T-Rex bat. And then when you do meet up with Ness again, it's like so overpowered at the time.
Yeah.
So that's a little challenge that people give.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, with Mother 3, I wanted to give something new or something more that fans can do after the game is over. So Jeff Man and I, we worked on a thing where there's the battle memory where the enemies you fight get logged in your little record, your little journal. I don't know if you guys got that item or not.
I don't think we did.
No, the battle memory we got.
Okay.
Oh, we did. Okay,
so
we did get it. I never looked at it because I think we were just too engrossed with moving forward the whole time.
So when you get the battle memory, you can get it'll record if you see the enemy from in front and if you can see the enemy from behind. And so if you can see every enemy from the front, you'll get a gold or a silver star. And that's a new addition to the fan translation. Like Japanese players didn't get this, and so that's the sort of like a challenge to see all the enemies. And some enemies you have to do like this sort of trickery to get that to happen.
Some are pretty rare.
Yeah, and
So basically, it's your fault as to why I didn't complete the game.
It is.
Well, it's in the README file.
Ooh. But there's a gold star. You can get.
There's also the gold star. So I think I don't know if it's if you get all of the back sprites too, or if it's just you get all the front and back.
I think it's front and back.
Okay, and so the gold star is a little harder. Anyway, so you can get those, but if you beat the game and you have the silver star, during the part where you're walking around in the darkness, a new secret text will appear, and it will tell you a little trick for a new way to enjoy the game. Like we took some stuff that was hidden in the ROM, like debug stuff, like a hidden menu and it has like stuff from the game before it was finished, like ideas and stuff like that, and character names and stuff like that. And so you can access this whole menu that Japanese fans can never get to. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, if you get the silver star, you get a hint on how to access that. And so if you get the gold star and you finish the game, you get the secret text tells you how to access a mode called hard mode. So you can finish the game in hard mode. You can play the game in hard mode. So
I wish you could see Jirard's face right now.
Okay, so the problem is that you guys have already finished the game. I don't know if you have any saves near the beginning of the game. So there are some enemies where you can only see them once or twice. Once or twice. Only certain parts of a chapter. So that's my bad news for you.
Question, just to spare me the spoiler later on. Did you award anyone for beating it on hard mode? Or
we were going to do something, but then we never got around to it. So
then I feel a little better.
Yeah, you don't need to,
at least I can talk about it.
Yeah, you don't need to beat it on hard mode, but actually I think you'll quite enjoy it because it's difficult enough that it makes a lot of the boss battles. You have to use new tactics and you have to use your items creatively in new ways that you didn't before. Like before, sometimes you could just bash away, or you can do the rhythm if you're good at the rhythm. But
which is funny because we played the first half, or I'd say the first quarter of the game emulated on the Ouya, and the Ouya did not work with the rhythm game.
Yeah.
It was not working at all. And so when the Retron 5 came out, one of our fans sent us a translated flashed cart of Mother 3 with your translation, and immediately when we booted it up, it was like a different game. I was like, I can kick ass now.
So that's a problem with the emulation. Just the emulation itself, it introduces delay. Mm-hmm. So with rhythm games like that, it's always going to be a thing. So that's why, like, if you emulate it and stuff like that, it's never going to be as good as actual hardware, and that's why we would really like Nintendo. That's a really good reason for Nintendo to release it on, legally and everything.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for. Yeah, it was really great. Anything else, Alex, you want to add?
I just bought my Hobonichi planner. I just got it. I got the Earthbound cover. I did it.
Nice. Welcome to the cult of Hobonichi.
Yeah, I had to leave the cult.
I hope I never leave the cult. I'm happy to be in it.
I hope there's a new Earthbound one next year, because that on it cover kept selling out over and over again. So I'm really hoping they do another cool one next year.
Hey guys, like, if you guys ever need it, like if you guys need Japanese help, if you guys got any like phrases, or if you guys need any stuff explained, just let me know. I'll help you out.
Thank you so much.
That means not only so much to me personally, but like that's an honor hearing you say that. That's so cool.
That's so tight.
Okay.
Thank you guys for even doing this interview. That's so cool.
And thank you again. Heidi, you sent us so many things from Fangamer that, like, we wanted to make so many videos and stuff, and we ended up just doing one really big Let's Play of Earthbound, and we just kept Mother 3, and we just kept talking about the Fangamer guide. And
that's great. That's like one of Fangamer's absolute best products ever, and it's recently back in stock.
Hardcover even.
Yeah.
You sent us a soft and a hardcover. But the hardcover thing you said had like an error in it, a misprint somewhere.
Which it was like here's one so you can show it, but it's like kind of messed up on the inside, and then here's one you can read.
Oh no! Like, I think because we were holding on to a couple of. That's right. We had absolutely sold out of hardcover versions, and you said that you wanted a hardcover, so I sent you one that was kind of a little bit beat up. Like, we called him a glitch. It's probably one that I dropped. So I sent you that one because that's like we don't give those to people who pay for them. So that was your freebie, one that I dropped on the floor.
Well, thank you for that.
Really, really, really great. Check these people out. Check out the things that they do. They're gonna be around. They're the best.
These guys moved. They were the ocean movers of this whole thing. You guys really were the forefront of not only keeping this game alive, but even through the various product stuff at Fangamer. All the Nest shirts and every
got my shirt Nest.
Every PAX I go to, I see people with the hats and
there's so many more Nesses every single year at PAX.
And I can, my girlfriend works for Fangamer every now and then, and I whenever I'm at a con, I see so much of it, and every time I see it, I'm like, it reaffirms that this game, the series really altogether has done so much. So thank you guys for being here.
That's great.
I hope everyone at home enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys in the next series.
If you guys ever do Mother 1, just let me know.
Yeah, we will. See you next game.
We will see you next game.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye.